Hey, what's up, ladies and guys? Hey, I haven't really done any hardscape videos this season. I just got too much work to get done to be recording them at job sites because it really almost doubles the amount of time for each job. So today's a 97-degree day, so I took the day off from the job site. I worked the last 2 days in the mid-90s, but I took today off because I figure I got some stuff around here I got to do, but I also have to cut for that job that I'm building, a sidewalk. I got to cut a whole bunch of pavers in half, and if I do them at the job site, it's going to be a lot of dust all over the place, and it's going to be a whole process setting everything up. Or I'm going to have to wet cut them, and that makes a slurry, like a concrete paste all over the place. It's really messy. I do have some custom cuts I got to make there, but not many. As you can see, I'm already soaked. I'm already sweating through my shirt here. I don't have a dry fit on today. But anyways, I'm going to show you my setup, and I'm going to attempt to do this. If you remember, I bought that 22 horsepower, I forgot the name of the unit. It's in one of a couple of my other videos. But it has a 22 horsepower Kohler engine on it. It is basically a vacuum unit that you put inside of a bed of a pickup truck. Well, I also bought that electric buggy, which has a load capacity of 3,000 pounds on the flatbed. And that's not on any of my videos. But I ended up rewiring that, throwing some batteries in it, painting it, going through it, getting it all looking, cute and stuff like that. And I've had this vacuum on the back of the thing now for, well, since last year, I think, when I bought it. And it just makes it easy to move around. I really haven't used that thing. But now, 2 weeks ago, I actually used it to vacuum out a crawl space. It's a 2.5-inch hose on the back, the blue heavy duty hose, that's 2.5 inch. And then I actually bought another 20-foot section of shop vac hose that I actually married to that, because that stuff's really hard to move around. So I was able to do a whole crawl space with it, literally like vacuumed it out, and it worked out phenomenal. That stayed outside, the hoses went inside, and I had the shop vac hose, which is super maneuverable, and I just vacuumed out the whole concrete crawl space, so it worked great. Well, I'm getting ready to cut a whole wheelbarrow of pavers in half because I'm doing a 90-degree herringbone pattern sidewalk. And so I need a whole bunch of half bricks. So I counted how many I needed yesterday before I left the job, and I brought that many plus a few extra with me. And I'm actually going to cut them on my electric brick saw. That's a little tabletop brick saw that I have. And I'm going to use the vacuum right there to hopefully collect some of the dust. Because if there's one thing when you're really sweaty working outside doing hardscapes, the concrete dust is absolutely horrible. Look, I have all those recycled pavers there too. I got to figure out what to do with. But yeah, if this works, which I know it's going to work, it's just a giant shop vac, and it's at idle right now, and it has good suction on the other side. I'll show you before I fire it up. It's going to make the dust a lot less in my yard. And it should be a lot quicker because I'm not using my gas-powered hand saw. I'm using my electric saw that's sitting on my trailer. So let me show you my setup here, and then I'm going to crank through some of these bricks to get them cut in half. And then that way, when I go back tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., I could just drop all these bricks right in place, and then I can continue on with the custom cuts there. So this is going to save good, hour and a half there with trying to do it there, basically. All right, let me show you what my setup is, and we'll see if it works. So if you remember, I bought that vacuum system separate, and I don't have any videos. I never published any videos of me working on the electric buggy, but it's a cute little thing. Those tires there are my doubles for my cut quick bank mower. So it's just basically a giant vacuum with a 22 horsepower Kohler engine on it. 20 horsepower. And it has a big blower on the bottom down there. This is obviously the exhaust from the engine, and this is the exhaust from the blower. Oops, sorry. This is the exhaust from the blower. And I ended up buying all the new filters in there, and it holds 90 gallons of water. If you wanted to do water, there's a high water shutoff right here. Here's your pressure gauge to show you how much vacuum you're producing. Here's a shutoff valve for this port right there. But I'm gonna use this port just because I'm just keeping it hooked up, and it loops around. There's actually 2 hoses here. This is the hose that it's hooked to. This is the hose that it's not hooked to. But then I have the shop vac hose right into that. Shop vac's roughly a 2-inch hose. That's how you empty it. And so you follow the hose, comes over to my trailer, which was in the shade when I set this up, and it's not in the shade anymore. But I have all these pavers I got to cut in perfect half, or as close to perfect as I can. So I have my electric brick saw. It's an MK Diamond, right there, brick saw. And if you see, it has a dust collector on the back, which I never use because I never have a vacuum. But now, even at idle, you can hear it. Let me see here, look. Okay. At idle, that's a little too big. It'll go if I file it up. And then it goes through and around and around. And eventually it's gonna go through all here and into the tank. So, we're gonna try it. That's a wheelbarrow of old garbage concrete I got rid of. I already have it set up where these pavers, if you cut them in half, it's a square. So basically, I put my stopper where I needed it, right here. And that will be that bottom paver cut in half, if you notice. Because they're perfect rectangles, they're like 4x8. I think these are Holland stone. I think the color is fossil, if I remember correctly. All right, it's a BX3 saw. There you go. All right, I'm gonna put you up in a tripod. I'm gonna keep the camera in the shade, if there is any, and we'll fire this up. Normally there's a huge dust storm, so I'm gonna hopefully not have quite a big of a dust storm. I already have it plugged into the house too. So, all right, here we go. Let's see what we can do. Like I said, I got all those I gotta cut in half. I've never used this setup before, so I'm not sure how well it's going to work. So we'll see. I've used it on a shop vac before, and a shop vac will collect about 70% of the air or the dust. This is a lot bigger. I'm hoping it has more suction than a shop vac. We'll see. Fingers crossed. I got to go turn the throttle up. battery's so hot my camera shut off. And I'm sweating to death here. But this is working great. It's too bad I lost my shade, but I'm thinking good plans for that unit right there. I might mount a generator and the saw on that cart, and then just drive that to the job site, or drive that on a trailer and drive it to the job sites when I'm doing a big in-ground pool or something like that, and doing a lot of cutting. That'd be perfect. I got the space in between, so I might be able to stick a generator and the saw in between. Take those tires off, obviously, because those go to the other machine. So I'm gonna let the camera cool down for a little bit, guys, and I'll get started again. I'm gonna go grab something to drink also. All right, guys, we're gonna try again. I'll show you my little thing I bought last year and I never used. I thought it was the stupidest thing I ever bought for like $4, and we're gonna see if it works. All right, anyways, I'm gonna fire up the 20 horsepower Kohler again on the vacuum. And if you look on the trailer, when I bring the camera over there, I got a good amount done. I am soaked. Like I said, it's gonna be 97 degrees today up here, so, and super high humidity. But anyways, I'll bring the camera back over there once I fire everything up, and we'll continue getting through it. It's a lot easier and quicker here, and a lot less dust than if I did it at the job site. Toward the end, I'll take the vacuum off, and I'll show you what one brick looks like, how much dust it is. All right, let me get started.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds.
Alright, get you guys into the trailer here. Here's all my hardscape equipment. Anyways, when you use a chop saw like this, a brick saw, versus one of the hand demo saws that are up there, you can actually get very close to a 90-degree cut. And if you saw on the table, let me grab another one here. They are really, I don't think I'm gonna have, here we go, I'll put it on the floor. Now these are just two random pieces. And if you notice, they are within, holy cow, a grain of sand from each other. This is perfect. This is like a grain of sand tire, that's it. So that's what's good about using these. You get exact straight vertical cuts. When you use a paver splitter, you're going to get a textured finish. I more use that on retaining wall caps to give it that look. You can use it on pavers, and some people do because it's quicker, cheaper, no worn parts. Because these diamond blades are, you know, anywhere from $200 to $400 a piece, and you go through them a lot. That's why you see so many of them on the walls everywhere you look. And gas-powered saws are a pain in the butt because sometimes they run, sometimes they don't. But what's good about a gas-powered saw is on curves you can undercut it, and that's what I'm going to be using over there. And I'm going to try to do some wet cutting if I can to keep the dust down. I have my respirator, or a couple of them, but I have a respirator right there in that bag. I have another one back there. So definitely don't want to breathe this stuff in. Here's my famous umbrella hats. I swear by them when you're working on a swimming pool patio and there's no shade. You get the big one if you're kneeling down and it covers half your back and your shoulders. The smaller ones, if you're vertical, like if you're carrying bricks, you use the smaller ones. They're cheap. They're $7, $8 on Amazon. Well worth it, I tell you. That has saved me so many sunburns. Yeah, that's pretty much, well, giving you my tour. Emergency toilet. You always have to have an emergency toilet. Honda generator. Yeah, so I got a little of everything in here. Pressure washer for when I wash. Compactor for, this is a small compactor. You saw the big yellow one that I have, the big whacker that I just put a new engine on. This right here is EZG, the manufacturing one, a roller compactor. They make, a bunch of companies make these. This is the best investment I've made in, I would honestly say, the last 10 years for hardscapes. It's only for polymeric sand, knocking the polymeric sand in and hitting the top of the pavers. Before, you used to have to use that on top of the pavers, and that hits so hard it'll crack some of the pavers. You can't use it on clay, you can't use it on natural stone. I've used this on clay, bluestone, and regular concrete pavers. Phenomenal. They're 4 rubber rollers underneath, and it's super wide. The problem is it's so heavy, but it works phenomenal. No dust. That is covered with dust because it makes so much dust, and you breathe half of it, and it's horrible for your health. So that's good for base. That's good for polymeric sand and on top of the pavers or stones. And then you have your random hardscape tools all the way across, and your digging tools and your wet boots for pressure washing or doing concrete. But yeah, that's my this is my second home basically. That's why there's an emergency toilet over there, because I do not use customers. I do not go into customers' houses because I get so dirty and dusty. But anyways, the trailer's loaded up. And remember I told you I bought something last year and I thought it was stupid and I never thought I'd use it? Look at this. It is an umbrella for the tripod, because the camera keeps overheating because I shoot in 4K. And with this heat like this, it just overheats instantly. Now, it didn't overheat the entire second time once I put it on there. And it's like I said, it's like $4, $5. They make little ones too. But anyways, all right, you saw the difference. All right, hold on, let me switch cameras. All right, guys, so you saw the difference in the dust. I'm gonna go over here in the shade. Well, as I was saying, I could feel the camera overheating. The camera shut off. All right, well, that is my neat little electric buggy with the vacuum system on it. I do have videos of me fixing this and cleaning it, and you know, as soon as I bought it. So it worked exactly perfect for what I just did. It's a little overkill, I think. I'm just gonna bring a shop vac to the job. The only problem with a shop vac is you have to use a bag. You can't just use a shop vac filter. You got to put a bag in it, otherwise the concrete dust is so fine that it clogs the filter instantly. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I do have to start splitting firewood too. Not looking forward to it in this heat. But anyways, I ended up picking the rest of everything up, backed my trailer up, and took the pallets out of the truck, put them up on actually on the firewood with the John Deere, because I'm running out of space. I got to get all that firewood split. That's a lot of firewood, but I got to get all that split and stacked so it can start seasoning. Behind me here, there's like 3 full rows like that all the way back. Anyways, yeah, you know what the best part about working from home on days like this is, and this is the one reason I don't like, or one reason I chose to do that cutting at home. So that took me, probably an hour and a half between setup and, well, if I wasn't recording, it would have taken me about an hour and a half between setup and recording and cleanup. But because I recorded some of it, or all of it actually, it added like an hour to it because the camera kept overheating and blah, blah, blah. But you know what the best part about working from home, when you're cutting concrete, the best feeling in the world is getting that dust off your sweaty skin. So any hours I was not at a job for the last 3 weeks now, I've been working on this. Here comes some clickbait. I think that's what you guys call it, right? Clickbait. All right, let me turn the camera around and I'll show you. Ta-da! Pool is crystal clear. I got a little bit of dirt on the bottom from everybody swimming yesterday. I got a vacuum, but yeah, crystal clear all the way down. And that's where I'll be rinsing off. So that's the definite benefit on a 90, 95, 96 degree day working from home. Now I'm all sweaty and dusty. I could just jump in the pool. I don't have to worry about going in the house all dirty. And then it's like a whole new day at that point. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out some of my other videos. I have 540 plus videos out there. And I didn't realize I had so many. But anyways, yeah, enjoy watching them. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I got my first JCB video up. That went live. And I still got to decide if I'm selling this or just going to paint it and keep it. I think I'm just going to sell it. I'm not sure. It's all done. Got the firewood wrapper. I got a whole bunch of stuff. All right, guys. And once again, when I get tired, I start jibber jabbering. I start aimlessly talking. I still got to work on this F350 back here. And my Benford is done. That's all done. And those pavers in the front are actually going to probably go around my fire pit all the way around back. And I'm going to put them in there with that. Well, I'm going to bring them back there with that. So, all right, guys. See you on the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay safe out there.